Hi there. My name is Todd Beecraft. If you're receiving this video, it means that you have a student in my class. I thought it would be easier to send out a video to explain the way that I run my class, the grading, the philosophy, than to try and explain it in an email or something like that. So thank you for taking a moment to listen to what I have to say. My philosophy in teaching is what would be classified as constructivist, which just simply means project-based learning. I try to set up a situation where the students are creating their own learning. So I create a situation, facilitate a situation where the students will learn whatever concept it is that we're working on through their own creation. So rather than completing a worksheet to show me that they understand something, they come up with something to show me what they have learned. So it's a lot more hands-on. You can see in the background some of the projects that have been made in my class. Amazing things. The main change that I want to explain to you that you might not be familiar with is the concept of not having points or grades in the classroom. Every study that I've seen or read or searched on education comes to a pretty clear conclusion that grades are detrimental to learning. Once you introduce a grade, once you introduce a reward, then the students will only do what it takes to get that grade and nothing more. You've all heard it. What's it going to take to get an A? What if I don't do this assignment? How will that affect my grade? The problem is that the focus there is on the grade, not learning. And I don't want that for my classroom. I want the focus here to be on learning. So in this class, there are no grades. There are no points. There's no extra credit. There's nothing like that. Now, immediately, I'm sure that you have several questions that come to mind. So I'm going to do my best to answer those questions. First and foremost, it's not a free-for-all. No grades does not mean they can just come into class, do whatever they feel like, and it doesn't matter. That's not it at all. At the end of the trimester, I do have to turn in grades for all of the students. So we will sit down in conference, we meaning myself and your student, and we will decide what their grade is based on their level of effort and participation. That means that if your student is one to whom English or whatever the class is comes very easy, if they finish the assignment in 10 minutes and then just hang out the rest of class, that will not be an A in this class. On the flip side, if your student struggles with this stuff, they will find an A in the class through the struggle. As long as they're working hard, as long as they're giving their best, that equals an A. At the end of the day, the product is second to me. It's secondary. Their effort, their level of participation and effort matters more than anything else. So we'll meet in conference and we'll decide on their grade based on that level of participation. Now that also means that there is no such thing as deathbed repentance. So if they do nothing for the first 6 weeks, and then the second half of the trimester, they work their tail off and get everything finished and do it perfectly, the highest grade they'll get in this class is a C because they only worked half of the time. So the way to be successful in this class is consistent participation, consistent effort. That leads to an A. So please don't find yourself in a situation where we have 2 weeks left in the trimester and you're sitting with me saying, how do we get that raised up to an A? Because that's just not going to happen. At that point, we're too late. I try to stay ahead of things. So if they are missing multiple assignments throughout the trimester as we move along, I'll get in touch with you. I'll send an email and let you know, hey, it's time to check in on PowerSchool. They're behind. Now in PowerSchool, because I don't have points, you'll never see a grade there. You'll never see points. The grade I won't enter until the last week of the trimester. But when they have an assignment, if they meet the criteria, if they've done what I asked them to do and they showed mastery in that concept, then I will mark it in PowerSchool as collected. If they didn't meet the requirements, or maybe they haven't mastered whatever the concept is and they need to do some more work, I would mark their assignment with an R, which means redo. In PowerSchool, I would just mark it incomplete. They can redo an assignment as many times as necessary. All I care is that in the end, they understand the concept. So that would be marked incomplete. If they just didn't do an assignment, that would be marked as missing. So that's how the grading structure will work. I realize it's probably a little frustrating to not be able to look on the main page and say, hey, you have a B in English, what are you going to do about that? You'll have to actually go into PowerSchool and look at the individual assignments. But my goal here is that the students take ownership of their own learning experience. So I expect them to be on top of their assignments. I expect them to be getting help when they're struggling with something. I expect them to own their grade. Now, really quickly, when I meet with them in conference, it's not a negotiation on their grade. So if I think they've earned a C, they feel like they've earned an A, we're not going to meet in the middle at a B. That's not the case. I will come to them with a pretty good idea of what grade I feel they've earned based on their assignments, what I've observed, what their level of effort has been that I've been able to observe and document. Does that mean I can't be swayed? Not at all. If they have a legitimate argument of why they feel that they've earned something different, I'm open to hear those things because ultimately they know their effort better than I do. But it means there are no free rides. It means that when we do group work, you can't be the one to hang out in the back and do nothing and then get an A because your group did the work for you. Everything is based on individual levels of effort and participation. Historically, it's gone extremely well. Students excel in this class because it gives them the freedom to explore ways to show me what they've learned, to explore ways to learn, to really innovate and create and look for the learning that makes them happy. So please contact me if you have any concerns at all. Otherwise, I look forward to meeting you at parent-teacher conferences. Thank you.